Yay, we are on and recording. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to get on this. We have one of my BFFLs, Emilee West, on the call today, and I am so stinking excited for you guys to hear from her. I just feel like we need to hype up, and if it's going to come from anyone, it's going to be her. So I'm stoked. Em, why don't you introduce yourself and then just tell us a little bit about you?
All right, so I am Emilee West. I am so pumped to be doing this for you guys. When Lex asked me, I was like, duh, of course. So I'm so excited. I am a brand new double diamond as of, yikes, I don't even, it's like all of the months like jumbled together, like 2 months. But my next promotion is going for triple. It's scary, but it's exciting. I want to go triple just because, like, I know that that's the next step, but it would mean so much to me just like going and paying off my student loans. I literally just graduated from Penn State. Like, this light is whack, man. Whatever. Um, so I literally just graduated college in May. I got a job like right after college, and I moved literally not even a month after got my job, like halfway down the country. So that's fun. So in promoting to double, I was in the middle of a move, and it was just hecka stressful, honestly. Like, it was just so much on top of everything. And at the end of the month, I was like, how did I even pull this off? Like, how did I actually just go double? Because like I was doing the work, but I was doing it so consistently and so like not monotonously, but like just so consistently that it didn't even feel like I was doing work. Like, I was just doing the things I needed to do. I was following up, I was making my posts, and I was doing those kinds of things. So it didn't even feel like I was doing anything different, but I was, because I was doing so many more things. But it just goes to show you that that consistency is just so important. So my story, I joined about 2.5 years ago. I went up the ladder pretty quick. I sat on diamond for about a year and a half, which sucked. I hated sitting at a rank. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I was like, what am I doing wrong not to go double? I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just I didn't believe that I was good enough for double. So I was like stuck in my ways. I had a terrible mindset. Like, okay, I'm not going double because I'm not working hard enough. Well, I was working. I was doing what I needed to do. I just thought that I didn't deserve it. And then God was like, "Oh, you deserve this. Here you go." So that's not really what happened, but that was really all that happened. And I am just so thankful that I'm like literally gonna cry, but like I'm just so thankful that like this business has given me the opportunity to go and live in a state that I've always dreamed about living in, getting a job down there, because I would not have been able to move. Like, especially during the middle of a flipping pandemic, I would not have been able to move if it was not for it works. So I know that wasn't like my whole entire story, but I think it was like the important parts that are happening like right now.
No, that's perfect. So, first of all, congrats on everything. You've had so many life changes. You're like the epitome of being so freaking busy and still making it happen. So I love that. It just goes to show that anyone can freaking promote if you do the dang work. So I love that. Okay, a couple hot seat questions that I didn't prepare you for, but I'm excited to ask you. And these are totally not related, but just for us to get to know you a little bit more. What is something that you've bought in the last couple months under $100 that's been your favorite purchase so far?
Under $100? Oh my gosh, my water kettle, by far. I love that
Oh,
thing.
where'd you get it?
What?
Where'd you get it?
I got it from Kohl's.
Oh,
I don't know
perfect.
if you guys have Kohl's. I don't know.
We do.
Okay, good.
We do, yes. Perfect. Okay, and then if you were to go to Starbucks, what is something that you would order? Like, what's your typical Starbucks drink?
So I get a venti iced caramel latte with skim milk.
Oh, yum. So bougie. I
It's,
love it. And then what are you most excited about in life right now?
oh my gosh. Starting my teaching career.
Yay. I'm so
Start
excited for you.
August 12th. So like wicked soon.
Ooh, that's so soon. You only have a couple weeks. Are you
I
nervous?
know. I'm kidding.
I love it. Okay. So when I asked my team or told them that we were going to have a guest speaker on, these were some of the questions that I polled that I wanted us to for sure cover. So I'll just kind of go through and like ask you them. And then afterwards you can just like spitfire whatever's on your heart. And I have a couple other like little questions that I want to ask. But to start, what are like your top 3 for each DT and LC enrolling tips? Like how are you enrolling?
Okay, so for LCs, definitely, well, for both really, but like following up. Like every single time I start talking to a person, even if I don't send them info, I write their name down. I'm a pencil paper person. Some people like to put it in like their notes or something. For me, it's just easier, and I remember like, oh, I have to follow up with this person. I literally write down every single person's name that I talk to, every single person, even if I don't get to send them info, even if they ghost me, because I can always go back and say like, oh, hey Abby, like, you know, did you get the info I sent you? If I do send info, and then if I'm talking to a DT, I'll be like, hey girl, like I have a few extra spots on my team. I just opened them up. Would you like be interested in joining my team? Something like that. And I'm sure that you guys have been told this like a million trillion times, but it takes more than one time to follow up with someone before anything even happens, before the magic happens. And that's just something that like you have to get over. I know when I first started, I was like, I don't really like seeing this blue bubble that's literally me, like 5 texts. I hate that. But on the 7th one, it's like, oh, hey, like, sorry, I just don't use Messenger like every day. And I was like, that's fair. Also, I was gonna say something else, but I forget. Anyway, it'll come back to me. I'm all over the place. So for LCs, follow up for sure. DTs as well. Following up is key. Reaching out with a product model script. I have a product model script and I can send it to Lex and she can send it to you guys. It's just so easy. Like okay, so this is a funny story. I followed Nayara Ribiera. I can't say her last name, but I followed her like just simply for inspiration. And she like DM'd me about like being a product model. And I was like, girl, if you don't think I'm stealing that, you're wrong. So I stole her product model script. And that's literally what I use. So if someone follows me and I like accept their follow request, whatever, I literally message them like a day, maybe 2 later. And I say, hey, like I was just looking at your profile, whatever. You know, would you like to be a product model? Not that blunt, but you know, just like that. And that inspiration obviously like or like they followed you for a reason. So you may as well reach out. Like, you know, like, hey, make a friend, if nothing else. They'll probably end up buying from you later. And then just being consistent. Like these are for LCs. So for LCs, we have follow up, reaching out with a product model script, and consistency. Consistency can mean a lot of things. Consistency can mean posting on your stories, following up, posting in general, like posting on your actual feed. I get a lot more attention from Facebook. I don't know how you guys all do it, but I get a lot of attention from Facebook and not very much from Insta. I think it's just because my followers are all like those 20-something college girls who care more about likes than they do anything else. That's okay. It's just the way the world works, where Facebook is people who are like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna share this a million times. Again, for LC signing tips, following up, reaching out, and then consistency. And that can be consistency in posting or following up, or stories and posting. DT tips. Posting with a call to action is so important. I used to post and just like post, you know, like, oh, this is about my life and like all that good stuff. And I would never have anything like you know, text me like at this number opportunity, or, you know, DM me if you have any questions, drop a comment. And I feel like that lost so many people from my feed because they could see what I was doing. They could see like what the business was doing for me, but I wasn't giving them the opportunity. Like I wasn't blatantly saying like, hey, this can be for you too. So that is just like, that is one of the biggest lessons that I have learned, is posting with a call to action is super, super important. So a call to action, for example, I just stated some, but it can be drop an emoji, it can be text join or opportunity, or it can be literally any word you want to your phone number. It can be drop an emoji or DM me for more info. It can be anything like that. It doesn't have to be, super generic. Like, just make it yours. Make it yours, and that's what people are going to want because they like people buying into you. They're buying into the product, of course, but they buy you first. Okay, DT tips. Posting with the call to action. Just talked about that. Following up, again, I write down every single person's name. If I don't get to the part of my script where I send them the video, I don't care. I write their name down. And I remember to follow up with them about probably 1 to 2 days later. I try not to do like every single day. So if I text them like right after the day that I talked to them, I probably won't text them again for another like 2 days. Consistency again in this situation can mean posting because the person you talked to, they're probably seeing your posts if you're posting about the opportunity. So that's again going to get it in the back of their mind. It can mean posting a story because they're probably going to see it in your stories. They're probably going to see it on your timeline. But the most consistent, especially for DTs, for me at least, consistency and following up personally. Hey, Maddie, I just saw like you liked my picture. Can I get you some more information on my business, on whatever it is? Really, could be product or business. Did I cover that?
Yeah, I think you did. And one thing that I wanted to point out that you said, no, you're good. One thing that I wanted to point out that you said was people who, like, you were messaging people who liked your post. And I think this is something that we forget about so often. And it's so huge. And I cannot tell you guys how many potentials I get from simply messaging people who view my stories and like my posts. So literally what I'll do, for example, I posted something about the new sleepy tea the other day and I had a bunch of people like it, like over 100 people. And so what I did is I literally went through and I had a little message that just said, hey, I saw that you liked my post. Were you just being nice or are you interested? And I love asking, were you just being nice? Because it gives them a really easy way to out themselves without it making an awkward conversation. But 9 times out of 10, not really, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there's a lot of people that are interested. And then I'll just send my post like, hey, did you see this? Do you want to be added to my pre-order list or whatever? And those are the scripts that I posted in the Moneymakers page yesterday, you guys, in the comments. All of the scripts are there. So that's amazing. Definitely start there. And then next thing was, what helps you get out of a funk? I know that you said that you were stuck at Diamond for a year and you touched on that a little bit, but I want you to elaborate. Like if someone feels stuck at their rank or they feel like they're not promoting quick enough, like what's your advice?
Okay, so I have a few things that I like to do when I think I'm in a funk. Because guys, let's be honest, like a funk is completely in your head. You're calling it a funk because you think you're in a funk. You're not actually. It's just, your brain is like lost or something. So what I like to do is I will literally tell myself, you cannot go to sleep until you sign an LC tonight. So I told myself this a couple of days ago. I was like, okay, I cannot, like, I need something. Like, I need some kind of like motivation magic right here. So I told myself that I wasn't going to sleep until I signed an LC. So I signed an LC and I felt better. But I was like, that's like not enough for me. I need something else. So I signed the LC and I listened to some personal development because I was like, girl, you need it right now. Because even after signing the LC, I was like, this is great, but like I still feel weird. So I listened to some personal development, and honestly, like I love Mel Robbins, I love Rachel Hollis, I love like basically anything I can get my hands on that I'm like, wow, I need this right now. That's what I do. I wrote down something else. Oh, right. I actually love, okay, especially when I'm in like, I feel like I'm in a big funk. I pray. I'm like, dear Lord, please send me all the people who need this business. Please send me all the people who need these products. I want to help them. I want to do all the right things by them. Amen. Guys, every single time I do that, I sign an LC. And it's because, like, it's just, you don't think about, like, praying over your business like that. Like, I would have never thought about doing that until I heard someone else say it. And every time I do it, like, I have a new potential. Even if I don't sign an LC, like, I have a new potential. I sign an LC. I sign a DT because I'm literally asking God to send me those people. And those people those people who need to see it are going to see it. And then they're going to have that little flame of faith, I don't know. And they're going to reach out to me, or I'll reach out to them. There you go. That's it. That's all I do. Personal development, pray, and I told myself I'm signing an LC before I go to bed.
Okay, I love that. I am seriously doing that with myself next time. You absolutely cannot go to sleep until you sign something. So that's all amazing. You guys, whether you believe in God, universe, insert the name, whatever you believe in, we need to be talking so much more about that, about praying over your business, about praying over your team, like even just the distributors that you have. Like that is so key and has definitely been something that helped me go from diamond to double and all the ranks before, but I didn't really start implementing that huge until after I went diamond. And I so wish that I would have implemented it when I was ruby, when I had one person under me, one loyal customer under me, even if you don't have a distributor. And just getting excited about it. But I love that you said that you recognize that you need self-development. Like even after signing that customer, you realized like, I need something else. And I'm going to be completely honest, you guys, self-development is the last thing that I want to do when I feel like shit. Like I don't want someone in my ear telling me that everything is like amazing when it's not. I feel like shit right now and I don't want to listen to anyone tell me otherwise. So if you are in that same headspace, like something that I would recommend too is physically moving your body. Whether that is you literally just go from one couch to a different couch, you go from a different room to outside or whatever. Like I love just doing yoga or going on a walk, but I will have to force myself to listen to self-development because sometimes a walk doesn't fix it. And regardless of whether or not you feel like listening to self-development, you need it. So Emilee may feel like, oh my gosh, that's just like something that's going to give me life. I'm really excited to go listen to that. Or you may feel like you don't want to listen to it at all. Either way, you need to listen to it because you have to have someone else telling you these things, hyping you up, having a personal hype man. And if I'm not listening to self-development all day long, I was telling Connor this yesterday. I said, it's so funny on the days that I listen to self-development, I don't have time to let my anxiety fill my mind. I don't have time to let the self-limiting beliefs and all these negative emotions that I could feel I'm not enrolling quick enough. People aren't putting enough haps up for me. Oh my gosh, I'm so much farther than I want to be for my promotion. Like all these things that you could be feeling when you're in a funk with your business. If you don't have and allow time and space for that to even be a thing, you can avoid that so much easier. And so I find like if I wait until I need the self-development, I'm already in trouble. So I need to be coming from the forefront. And this is just me personally of like, I know I have to listen to it all day long. So find whatever works for you. But we've talked about this so many times on this team too, of stop saying the word funk. Like just literally take it out of your vocabulary. It doesn't exist anymore. And when you choose for it not to exist, you'll make it happen. So I love that. And then you also said prayer. I'm a huge, like, I love meditation. And I know when I don't control the movie that is in front of me, which is my life, I let it overtake me. And I think that regardless of what you believe or don't believe, you have to have some sort of outlet, some sort of faith that is grounding you and making you walk through every single day, business or not. Like shit is hard in life right now. And we need that security blanket. So whatever it is for you, find that and freaking run with it. And then, sorry, I know I'm like touching on everything that you said, but I just like freaking ate up what you were telling me. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on with her saying consistency so many times and really hitting on those posts. And I heard this a long time ago, but this has happened to me as well. And I know that it's happened to a million other people is what if someone has been watching you for 6 months and they're just waiting for that one more post and they're sitting there saying, okay, if she puts up one more freaking post about this business, I'm doing it. And what if you didn't post? What if you didn't force yourself to put up something on your story or to follow up with these people before you go to bed because you know you're in a funk and you would have signed someone? And so I've been liking recently playing my life and playing my business off of what ifs. Like, what if I doubled my 6 list today? What if I followed up one more time? What if I just put that last post up or whatever? So thank you for touching on that because I really feel like that needed to be reiterated. So how do you become a better leader? What was like your leadership change from, I love how I said leader shift, like the book. That's hilarious. From diamond to double.
Okay, so first I want to touch on like two things. If you're a person who like says they don't have time for personal development or something like that, I promise you you do. I listen to personal development in the shower, okay? Because I'm one of those people that like if I put it on in the background, I am never going to hear a single word. Like I am just going to be like busy doing my own thing, doing the thing that I'm doing. But if I put it on in the shower, I'm not going to be listening to anything other than the flipping water running, okay? So put it on in the shower if you think like I can't do this, like I don't have time to listen to personal development. Okay, well, you do. So that was one thing that I wanted to touch on. And I had two girls sign with me who were like, if she posts one more time, like I'm joining. And these were two of my friends, guys. Two of my friends. One is now emerald and one is now diamond. Imagine if I didn't make that flipping post. Like I wouldn't have an emerald and I wouldn't have a diamond. Like, what? Okay, beside the point. What was the question? Remind me again. Sorry.
No, you're good. What helps you, or how did you become a better leader?
Okay. So I wrote this down, and it was something that I heard someone say. Leaders lead. You have to lead your team to be a leader. So like if you're sitting back and you're relaxing and you're not talking to your team every day, you're not talking to your leaders every day, you're not leading them. Like you're not, if you're not sending them like not multiple, but if you're not sending them trainings that you've listened to yourself and you think, wow, like my team needs to see this, you're not leading them. Like you can't be a leader if you're not leading. Like you have to be able to be in that, or you have to put yourself into that position. And I know it's hard because being a leader is scary. Like it's scary, but you have to do it. You have to do it for yourself and you have to do it for your team, because if you're not leading your team, then no one is. So Leadership, great book. Great book to read if you're, even if you're not in a leadership position, you have girls under you, you have a team under you, you're still a leader. So definitely, and you'll be ahead of the game for when you are a leader. That's really all that I have to say. Like you have to lead your team because your team is going to follow in your footsteps. And you want to make sure that, you're posting consistently, because if you're not posting, your team's not going to post. And if you're not making stories, your team's not going to make stories. If you're not going live, which sorry, but like I don't really do that much. But if you're not going live, your team isn't going live. And that's just the reality of it. So you want your team to follow in your footsteps, but are your footsteps worth following?
Ooh, mic drop. Are your footsteps worth following? I love that. That is blowing my mind right now. But you guys, she leads from example. And we talk about that all the time. Is the best way to lead from the front is with your own personal business. And that's why we talk about the 80-20 rule. 80% into your own business, 20% into your team. And you can break that down even more. 80% with the people who are crushing it, 20% on the people who aren't, right? Checking back in with them, seeing if they're ready to run for their promotions. So that's huge. How to be a better leader. Are your footsteps worth following? And then what does a typical day look like for you? And I know that you've been moving and life is crazy, so it's probably changed, but when are you working your business? Are you working in small increments, big increments, and like specifically, what are you doing?
Okay, so yeah, with moving, my routine is like all out of whack. So I am much so a night owl. So I started doing this, I think it was probably like a month ago now. I will message before I go to bed. I'll message like a mad woman. I'll message for HAPs. I'll message for product model. I'll message for DTs. I'll follow up during that time. And how I do this is I'll just sit there and go through, like I said, like my business is more Facebook than Instagram. So I'll go through my Facebook and I will literally just like I'll just, click on this person's name. If I haven't messaged them yet, I'm probably going to message for a product model. If I've messaged them product model, I'll probably message for a PDT. If I've had a full-on conversation with them, I'll turn it into a follow-up. And I do not go to bed until I have 6 messages sitting in my inbox. So those are 6 messages that I have for tomorrow morning. That's just something that in my mind, I'm like, okay, I already have I did something productive tonight. So I have something productive to do in the morning. So I wake up the next morning. I do some personal development. I do my devotionals in the morning. I also stretch in the morning because let me tell y'all, this couch is not comfortable and I don't have a bed yet. So little peek into new apartment life. So I get up, I do my devotionals, I do my morning stretches, all that kinds of stuff. And then I'll sit down and I will not that I don't touch my phone, but I don't go to my messages until after I do those things. And for me, that's just telling myself, like, you have to do these things that are important before you can do this thing that is also important, but can wait until after the other things. So I wait until after I'm done with the important things to do my messages. And when I'm doing my messages, I'll usually message for a few more. So I'm talking to these girls or guys. I'm talking to these people and I'm also, making a post. I made my coffee story literally 2 minutes before I hopped on here. So I made my coffee story. I posted that. I'll be posting another post after I'm done with this. It's just making sure that I know when I'm posting. So I get up, do my stuff. I message the people who I messaged last night. And usually by the time I get up, I have more messages waiting. So those 6 messages turned into 15 messages. So I have them all waiting. I get back to them and then I make my coffee story and I post. And then I post again a little later. After that, I get my HAPs up. I'm sure that you guys have all done HAPs. I try to get 10 to 15 HAPs up a day. If I know that I'm busy tomorrow, I'm gonna get 15 HAPs up today because I don't want to feel like I'm slacking or that I'm not running my business the way that I should. So if I know that I'm gonna be busy, or if I know that it's my Sabbath, I'm putting if I know it's my Sabbath, I'm putting 20 HAPs up. No doubt. I have to in order to feel like I accomplished something. And then after my HAPs, I usually message some more, read. I like reading for pleasure, not reading personal development and like I do in the morning. I'll read, I'll grade, I'll do things that I need to do for my job. But that's really it. And then I go to sleep and I message before I go to bed.
Okay, I love it. So I think we can talk about all day long, the things that we need to do. And I know I can speak for those of us on my team here that you guys know what to do. And you know what your 6 list is every day. And everything that she just told you is not anything different than we preach day in and day out. So at the end of the day, what it ultimately comes down to is getting it done. And she just made such a good point where if you know you're going to be busy, you got to be prepping the day before. And that's just the difference between a 9 to 5 and an entrepreneurial mindset. You know what you need to accomplish. It's not done until the fat lady sings, right? You have to finish the task for it to be considered done. If you stop before that soprendo, you're going to be screwed. I don't even know music, so I probably totally just butchered that. But you guys know my point. Okay, I did not prepare you at all for this question. Soprano! Okay, good. Whatever, soprendo. We're going to go with soprendo. At least you know. I didn't prepare you for this at all, but I think that it's important to talk about because we can talk about, like I said, the specifics of the to-do list all day. But if you don't have that belief, if you don't have that grit, if you don't have that love behind it, the action that you're doing is unfulfilled. So where was that? Because I feel like everyone has this click. Everyone has this all of a sudden, like, oh, there it was, of that belief. So where was that for you? How did you get that? And like, how do you teach your team to have that same belief?
Okay, so I actually read, this is how I got more consistent with like doing things I need to do in my mornings. Because I still believe that mornings are like very important, because if you don't start your morning right, the whole rest of your day just effed up. Like really, sorry to be so blatant, but like it is. So I read the 5 second rule by Mel Robbins. I am not a flipping morning person, guys. Like really, I'm not, or I didn't used to be. But I read the 5 second rule, and getting up out of bed 8 o'clock in the morning. And I know sometimes people will be like, oh my gosh, 8 o'clock. Ugh. Well, let me tell you, it's going to be earlier. It's probably going to be like, I'm probably going to be joining the 5 a.m. club if y'all haven't heard of that, because I need to do this stuff before I go to my actual job in the morning. So back to the belief or whatever. The belief, that's what you said, right? Yeah. So I think it was just getting up and doing the dang thing, even though it was hard, and being consistent about it. I was just like, that's when it clicked. Because I was like, what have I been doing? Like, I could have been getting up an hour and a half earlier. No, like an hour earlier, and doing all of these things. And by the time I would normally wake up, I already had those things done. And for me, like that was the thing. And I was like, okay, it's 9 a.m. and I have 4 hops up. And I followed up with people who messaged me last night. Like for me, that was just like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? Like I've been getting so much more done. I've been way more productive. I've taken control of my mornings, and ultimately like that's helping me take control of my life, because it's like my life and my business. It's been so beneficial to me waking up earlier, because in my mind I'm like, oh, I have all this done, but I'm focusing pretty much mostly on my business in that hour. So it's like, it's a win-win really. And that was just when it clicked for me, when I was like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time?
I love that you said take control of your mind, take control of your life. Like there's so many one-liners that you've said throughout this that I just want to like snip it. But no, that's self-development. If we have not hit it on the head enough times, should be clicking now that this is something that is so absolutely crucial. And it's kind of funny that you were talking about that, because I started this like, I don't know, little group or whatever with my team. Some of the people, I just put it out there for everybody. I'm like, if you want to take advantage of this, message me. I'm going to put you on a list. And basically what I'm doing is I'm sending them journal prompts and like inspirational quotes and podcasts that I'm listening to like throughout the day. And the thing that I sent them all this morning was specifically about your morning. And I was like, this is going to make or break your day. How you decide and how you choose to start this morning. And you start over every day, right? You have to click the restart button. And it's a work in progress. It's not like you do it one day and then you're good for 4 days. Like you have to wake up every morning with an intention. And I love that you said that, because something that I've recognized in myself recently and been allowing myself to do. And it's so crazy when you allow the creativity to flow and you take inspired action. And when you feel like doing it, you go balls to the wall, because you get so much more done. And it has been so proven time after time that every single person, whether you're a morning person or not, is most productive right after you first wake up. Because if you wait until the end of the day, you're just going to be tired, and like inevitably you're just going to feel like doing it less, even if you're a night owl. So I would really encourage you guys to bust your stuff out in the morning, take inspired action. And if you need to work your business like throughout the rest of the day and at night, totally do, like you should be. But inspired action in the morning, I love. And then the only thing that I wanted to touch on, you guys, that's been so huge for me with belief outside of the self-development stuff in this business specifically, is getting your butt to an event like yesterday. I cannot tell you, like, if I did not go to my first conference, if I did not go to the green carpets, like, I would not have half the belief that I have in myself or even my team, and the fact that I know that we can do this. Like, we can pull off whatever it is, triple, prez, and bazzi. Like, we're doing all the things, but we have to have that belief first. And that's why I wanted to touch on this a little bit, because it doesn't matter how much you're doing if you're not taking inspired action, if you're not filling your cup, if you're not doing all of the things, and then seeing all the people who are just like you doing it also. And that's really what events is about. So I don't know if you have anything else that you want to just like spit fire, spit some motivation at us, tell us all the things. Otherwise we can, oh shoot, hang on. Okay, there we go. I lost you guys for a sec. My computer like freaked out. Anyways, I'll mute myself.
You're fine. Okay, so like you said, events are so important, guys. I would have never met Lex if I didn't go to conference. And then the next, was it the next No, it was green carpet, I think. I don't know what. It was green carpet. So we met at green carpet, and then I ended up flying out a few days early before conference this year. And I know some of you guys look familiar to me, so hey. I actually stayed with Lex and her team like a night or two before conference even started, because like we had that relationship. So yes, it's about the business, but it's also about meeting the people who you see their names in the Facebook pages, you see their names on Insta, like you see them all, like you see the names, but like, you know, you get to meet that person. Like I got to meet Lex, I got to meet some of her team, like some of you guys, like, and that was just so much fun. Like it's about more than that, because it's making the personal connection also. One thing that you said, Lex, you said intention, and it immediately brought something else to my mind. But posting with intention. So we know that posting is important, but we also want to post with intention, because if you're posting, you know, just like, oh, I'm going to throw this up. Well, that throw this up mindset is not going to get you anywhere. Like, I promise you. Like, it's almost like people can feel that through the screen, that they're like, she kind of just like threw that up there. I'm not gonna comment. Post with intention. Be you. Be yourself. Like, people want that. They want the genuine like connection with you. They buy you before they buy the product. I'm gonna look at my notes, but I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, I do. Sorry, Lex, I don't know if I'm like overtime or what. Stop me if I start rambling. Because I'll go all day. So today is the 25th. And I'm like so pumped that today is the 25th. I'm really, really glad that I got to talk to you guys on the 25th, because it's like Christmas morning. Auto ships just ran. Like, you know exactly where you stand in this business. We have 15 more minutes. Okay, cool. You know exactly where you stand in your business right now. All your numbers just ran. You know exactly what you need to get to the next promotion. Exactly what you need. Take that number and divide it by 7. There are 7 days, including today, left in the month. Take the number, divide it by 7. Then you know that number, keep it to yourself, hold it close to your heart, because that's what you need. Then take that number that you're holding really close to your heart and divide it by how many girls you have working under you. Give them that number and give that to them as a goal. Give it to them as a gift. Say, hey, we need 200 BV a day or whatever. Guys, you can do it when you break it down. Break it the heck down. Because when you're looking at the number that's closest to your heart, you're thinking, oh my gosh, like, oh boy, how am I going to do this? Guys, you have a team for a reason. And that's where the leadership comes in. That's where you say, hey, just remember, you need this much volume. Guys, it's that easy. And if you know someone who is under you who is also promoting, do it for them or teach them how to do it. Do it with them, even better. So then you're teaching them, but it's a teaching moment for them and you're the one teaching. So they're taking it like, oh my gosh, like you care that I'm doing this with you. So know what you need. And that's really it. And you guys can all do it. I know you can. Like, if people can get flipping like 17,000 volume in 7 days, like, why can't you get 2? Like, really? It's just that. Follow up with people. Send, hey, I'm going for a huge promotion this month. Like, do you think you could place an order to help me out? It's not bribing anyone. It's simply asking. And you're never going to know unless you ask. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
done.
the worst thing they're gonna say is no. But I think that this last like 2 minute thing that you just said was probably my favorite piece out of this whole Zoom is breaking it down to your people and with your people because and maybe that's my fault. Like I feel like I just had an aha because I always, like Nat said, I always break it down by orders and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to accomplish to achieve my goal. And I think that we put so much pressure and so much stress on ourselves, like we have to do it alone. And there's 12 people on this Zoom right now. Like there are people who are working and can do this with me, and shame on me for not being like, hey, this is how much you need. This is how much you need. Let's come together and do it together because this is what we need to accomplish this goal. So I love that. Like I just had such a huge aha myself. Not that I haven't, like, don't work with my team, don't get it twisted. But at the same time, I could absolutely be better about how to rally them together. I love that. Okay. Are there any last minute questions that you guys want to ask her since we still have like 15 minutes? I'm going to pause the recording really quick so that you guys can think of some stuff.
Me, sorry. Don't be afraid not to ask. Okay? Like, it's okay. We're all here. Ask the questions.
Touch on like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you're not even anywhere near my downline or on the same team. We're total legit sideline sisters. And I just love hearing your little input. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat yet. So if you guys, like Emilee and I talk all the time. So if you have questions that come up that, you know, I can't answer or that you want a answer from her or whatever, just shoot them to me and text them to me, and I can always just text her really quick and be like, hey, what do you think about this? My team's curious about what you think. So thank you so much for doing this with us. You guys, it is the 25th. Get our butts to work. Let's take advantage of this last 15 minutes and send some freaking messages, do your follow-ups, whatever it is. But thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this with me, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.